afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bonnie Mbuli, and Women's Month is in full swing, as you saw yesterday. And today we have not one or two or even four inspiring women on the show, but five. Isibaya star Linda Mtoba Mayor is in the loft, as well as media personality Ayanda Dlamini, who you'll remember having been a guest presenter on Afternoon Express in the past. Then we chat to former YoTV presenter and actress Lara Lipschitz. We also have a young South African-born author by the name of Arushi Raina, who published her first novel at the tender age of 24. And then from the world of fiction to the world of science, we sit down with 18-year-old Brittany Bull, who is part of a group of high school learners that launched South Africa's first privately owned satellite into space. Now, as a young girl, our first guest was always considered a little bit over the top. Throughout her formative years, she's gravitated towards theatrics and drama, and this is what eventually landed her the role of a lifetime. Linda Mtoba Mayor, or Mrs. Husband, as affectionately known, got her debut role on the telenovela Isibaya and has been growing from strength to strength ever since. Wow, welcome to the loft, Mrs. Husband.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Let's start off with why you're affectionately known as Mrs. Husband, because I think that the whole country is just salivating over, still salivating over your honeymoon.
Really? Still? I am too, if I'm being honest.
I think so.
I think I was the most excited bride there ever was. That was me that day.
Yeah.
Until today, actually.
Wow. And how has the response been? What have people been saying about it? What do they love most about your love story?
Well, I think what people love is the fact that I am someone who is relatively young to be married.
Yeah.
But here I am married and very happy. And I like the fact that I think I'm changing, well, I want to change the narrative of marriage. That a young person can be married and have a great career all at the same time.
Yes.
And be happy all at once.
Right, you're right. I love that. Okay, so your acting gene was discovered by you by accident, pretty much, right? You were a teacher studying marketing part-time and teaching Zulu. Tell us about what happened.
That was literally, as you just said, it was an accident, and I keep describing it as a love story.
Oh,
because
wow.
One of my close friends, Numbu, so she said, you have to go audition for this role. I think you'd be great at it. So I'm like, oh, friend, I haven't even acted.
So was it an
anyway.
open audition?
It was open audition completely. So you send through your email with your bio and your pictures, and then I got called through, and then I went, and then I got the job. And that was it, literally just like that.
Just like that?
Just like that. And 2 weeks later, I had to move to Joburg.
A whirlwind?
A whirlwind.
So is that when you then quit your job? And were you not afraid to burn bridges? What did you say?
I think for myself, I'm a true believer in that what's for me is for me, and that you sink or you swim.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd give it my best chance either way. Like, if I can act, then great. And if I can't, then also great, because then now I know I mustn't try this ever again.
Yeah.
So it was really...
And just keep it moving.
Yeah, just keep it moving. That's honestly really it. And the fact that we're able to do that now, I think at my age was great as well. I was mature enough to handle the pressures that came with the acting role. I mean, from having no background in the industry whatsoever, I had a very great support structure that helped me be able to be an actress and also maintain myself.
Yeah. And what's also remarkable is that you went from not being an actress to your first acting role and then winning an award for it. I mean, that's just almost unheard of.
I still pinch myself. I literally pinch myself every day that, never mind the award, the fact that I got to work with such amazing people every day. And like, I'm here sitting with you today as well.
Yeah.
Like a year or 2 years ago, I would have never imagined this ever happening in my life. So it's literally a constant love story, and constantly having to pinch myself and realize I'm really here and I'm really doing this. And this is really me living this life.
And it's flowing.
You know? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So now you're on another series. It's a telenovela and it's called The River. Tell us about the character you play.
Wow, my character, she is something else, hey? I
Yeah.
must say, like, I'm scared of her. I wouldn't want to be friends with her either, or have her as my enemy, and nothing to do with her, basically.
Right.
So I think it's one of the most challenging roles I've done. This is my second role, and I love that I feel like I'm growing from strength to strength, and also growing in a way that I'm able to pace myself in the growth. That I wasn't just completely just sunk in and just like, okay, now you literally have to survive. And my character, she's manipulative, vindictive. You know, she's really someone that's quite dark and twisted and troubled. So I had to do a lot of research on people that are like that as well. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of things on the internet, like to get inspired as well. So that's what was helped me as an actress. And having to find her, I had to look elsewhere, not within me, because there's no one like that inside here.
Yeah, I love those moments where a character really challenges you to step out of yourself. So what is one of the most surprising things you've discovered about the industry that you had no idea about going in?
I thought I was going to be really, really super duper rich.
Girl, you should have called me. I would have explained it to you.
I was like, oh, I'm in the money, you know. But I just realized it's a lot of hard work. And I feel like they actually made a joke on set just yesterday that I always thought that when watching TV, that someone had a board and they had the board up with the words for you in case you forget.
Really?
That's what I thought, because watching TV, that's what's always there, like in American TV. And lo and behold, the person does not exist. It's not a real thing.
Not even here do they exist.
They don't exist. You have to remember for yourself.
Yeah.
And that has always been like the funniest thing. People always tease me about it all the time. Like, where's the person that's going to hold up my lines when I forget? They're like, who? I'm like, the person with the board. That person doesn't exist, baby. You gotta remember it yourself. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. That was scary. So I think it's quite funny as well. So I think that's the one thing that just blew me away.
Yeah. Well, you are absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure we'll get a chance to chat to you later on in the show.
Thank you for having me.
So coming up after the break, we sit down with former Yo TV star actress Lara Lipschitz. Plus, we're in the kitchen with Chef Clem, and he's making us a pudding using chocolate chip rusks.
Our guests on Afternoon Express fly domestically with Mango. Enjoy outstanding service, online check-in and seat selection. With the widest booking and payment options, Mango is the only airline globally to accept store charge cards as a means of payment. Fly in comfort with ergonomically efficient seats for more legroom aboard a fleet of new generation Boeing 737-800 aircraft. Join the guests of Afternoon Express and fly Mango.
warm welcome back to you, back to Afternoon Express, live on SABC3. Now, who doesn't love a good rusk with their cup of tea in the morning, right? With Clem's delicious Baker's Good Morning chocolate chip rusk pudding recipe, you can now enjoy your favorite rusks for dessert too. Clem, you always are getting so creative with your desserts. I love it.
And
I know
love
it's
this
going to be
dish as
something
well.
I've never seen before.
Well, it's the first time I'm making this, and I think it's really cool. So what I've done is I've taken my Baker's Good Morning rusks. I'm using my favorite flavor, which is chocolate chip. It also
yummy.
comes in buttermilk and it comes in muesli, but I like chocolate chip, you know?
You love chocolate.
Okay. So it's really cool. It comes in this amazing
I love this container.
I've got so many at my house.
Really?
I make my spice mixes in here. I make like sauce mixes because it goes in the fridge, goes in the dishwasher. They're really great. No joke. I really have a whole lot of these at home.
Yeah.
I love these containers.
repurposing. I
Me
love
too.
it.
So, super easy. All I've got is the perfect little size as well. I think they're so great. And you can smell that chocolate. Smell that chocolate.
Yummy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's the goodness of Bakers. I've been living around for like so long. I remember in primary school, we used to get like Mari biscuits for like lunch.
Baker's man.
And I feel like Oliver Twitch would go, please, ma'am, can I have another one? She'd be like, no. But I'm an adult now. I buy my own Mari biscuits, and I'll have as many as I like.
And now you have as many as you want.
Exactly.
It's your party, and you'll cry if you want.
All right, so
pack
them in there. Give them a little room because you're going to add some liquid to them. They're going to puff up a bit, right?
Okay.
It's a rusk. It's literally like it's a baked good that's just been dehydrated. There we go.
Expand.
So to our sugar, we're going to add an egg. There we go. We're going to give it a good mix. And then, Bon, over here, I've got some evaporated milk and some normal milk.
Here.
If you will, pour for me.
What, the milk first or both
Doesn't
at
matter.
the same time?
Doesn't matter. Show me your skills. Same time.
This is what I'm going to do for you.
So basically, we're making it a royale, which is just very fancy for a custard. Look at you.
Look at me.
That's crazy.
Say when.
I'm going to say that's good.
That's
all
good.
Right?
Okay.
So remember, even if it looks like you're adding too much liquid, it's going to get absorbed by the rusk. So don't be worried about that.
This is already decadent.
It is, it is. Give it like, I'd say half an hour to absorb all the moisture, and then you pop it in the oven. Bake it like you would with the normal bread pudding. So I'll say about half an hour later.
Bake it like it's hot.
Bake it like it's hot. Seriously. Then you can't have bread pudding without like some custard at the end.
Oh, yummy.
It just goes over, pour it over. But in all honesty, I'm guaranteed this is going to taste really good.
It is. And of course, you can serve the custard on the side, right?
You can.
I'm just being forward. You are being forward. You're just like, put the custard on.
This is for you in your container. Take it home. Take it home.
You're such a sweetie.
For you and the boys.
I've got so many things to store in here.
Exactly. So
Thank you so
How
much.
easy was that?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I love it.
Done.
And I'm sure it's very delicious. So get your hands on this mouth-watering Baker's Good Morning chocolate chip rusk pudding. SMS the keyword Bakers to 33650 and you'll receive the link to the recipe. SMSs cost R1.50 each. No free SMSs apply. Visit afternoonexpress.co.za.
There's a new way to say good morning. Discover new Baker's Good Morning rusks in 3 delicious flavors, now available in a resealable container.
So you may remember her as a presenter on Yo TV, but since then, Lara Lipschitz has evolved into a top actress with roles in movies like Wonder Boy for President and the international hit The Dark Tower. She also created a web series called Chin Up, for which she became the first South African to win a Best Actress award at the 2017 New York City Web Festival. Take a look.
I try to keep in pretty high skirts about it.
Wow, I love it already.
That was just the intro.
That's just the intro.
Yeah, title sequence.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can imagine how daunting it is to start something from scratch, where you have all the reins, all the creative power, but and just that eagerness to get it right.
Yes.
To find a way through it that works, right?
Well, I guess I'm still navigating that every time I do it. The first time I did it, I suppose what made it easier was I didn't kind of plan to make it go any further. I just made one video. So I wasn't worrying about, is this going to be good? Is it going to be bad? What are people going to think? I just thought, let me make something and put it out there. And that's actually the advice that I give to other people. Because if you think about where you want to get it, it can be daunting, and then you're like, how am I going to do that? And you just don't do it at all. So start with one step at a time.
And no matter how many great ideas we all have, I guess the toughest part is starting.
Yes.
And once you start, there's kind of a magic that happens that starts to just carry you forward with momentum, right?
Yes.
So what is Chin Up about, your web series?
Chin Up is a web series about a struggling actress who overcomes all the obstacles like her disinterested agent and all the rude directors she deals with and the ridiculous things that happen on set.
Inadequacies.
Yes, exactly. In order to achieve her goal of being an actress.
Yeah. So you write it, you produce it,
Yes.
obviously, and obviously you assemble your shooting team. Wow, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot more work than people kind of think. And also with this season, I directed it as well. So I decided I'm not going to depend on anyone else to tell my stories. They're my stories and they should be told from my perspective. And there were times where I thought, okay, I actually don't know how to direct, or it's too much, or what am I doing? But then I believe that no one knows all the time. You know, like you know sometimes, and the rest of the time it's okay to ask. It's okay to collaborate. In fact, it's encouraged. So, and that's where you get the best stuff, when you really ask the other actors or the DOP or the AD or whoever has a good suggestion, and you collaborate to make something amazing that everyone has been a part of.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So what are the key factors that, I guess, make sure that your web series is successful in terms of just the technicalities, where you position it, how you position it? Did you have to do a lot of back-end work?
Well,
gosh,
yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, especially this season. We really tried to up the production value and just make it better each time. So I wrote the scripts for a good 4 to 6 months, and I cast in good time to make sure the actors were available. I really wanted to get actors that were good with improv and comedy especially. And then it's a lot of producing in terms of locations and organizing schedules. I learned so much.
It's a lot of admin.
So much admin. And it feels like it's a puzzle that keeps moving, like all the pieces keep moving, and magically somehow it all works in the end.
So magically that you won an award.
Yes.
At the New York Web Fest.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I submitted it to the New York City Web Fest last year and it got accepted, and I got myself there, and I'm so glad I did, because I won the award for Best Actress in a Web Series.
That is incredible.
Yes, and there were some amazing ones. It's worth checking out. It's all online, obviously. It's a web series. And yeah, it was incredible to be up there as the only South African.
That's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And I also just love that, you know, there's so many actors in our country who are just kind of waiting at home, waiting for their break and just waiting for that call from their disinterested agent. And you just took it into your own hands and were like, I'm just going to take control of my own destiny, be the driver of it. Well done.
It's nice to not have to wait for someone to give you permission to do the thing that you love doing. If you want to act, act. You know, if you want to write, write. And so that's what I did. I read a really amazing book recently, and it said, you are the cavalry. Even when you're in Hollywood and you've made 2 movies and you're like the best thing, you still have to do the work. You still have to make sure it happens for yourself. You are the cavalry.
I love that. You are so inspiring. So coming up after the break, we chat to media personality Ayanda Dlamini, who founded an incredible project called G12 Runway that gives fashion design students the chance to showcase their work and also give back to those in need at the same time. Plus, we meet South African-born author Arushi Raina. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, media personality Ayanda Dlamini has been sowing dreams one stitch at a time by connecting high school learners and design students. In previous years, the G12 Runway initiative has been associated with the creme de la creme of fashion, the likes of David Tlale, Gert-Johan Coetzee and Stefania Morland, just to name a few. This year, G12 Runway continues to provide a platform for design students to show off their skill by giving back to young matric girls from disadvantaged communities, offering custom-designed matric dance dresses to those who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford them. Ayanda, welcome back to the loft.
Thank you.
You're a familiar face in our loft. Yeah.
Yes.
I was so excited when I heard about your project. Tell us about G12 Runway. What does it aim to do?
Well, it's so funny when you mention all of that, and I think back to when it started and how it really was just a dream, and really had to take it one step at a time. You know, the first diva that was on the couch was talking about taking everything one step at a time. And essentially what it does, it's a platform for young designers, as you were saying, but also at the same time a way to give back to our girls in our communities who need the help. We know the pressures of the matric dance. Yeah. We know what happens with the families, okay, budgets and all sorts of things. But what we do with giving back is it's so easy to go somewhere and say, oh, do you need something? Here it is. What we want from our matric girls is to be able to say, not only am I needing assistance with this, but I've got a vision. I've got a plan for what I want with my life. There is something that I'm looking forward to. And those are the kind of girls that we're looking for, because we all have a story. We've all struggled. We've all needed something. But what we look for in our matric girls is for that one who's kind of going, you know, I'm going somewhere. I've got a plan. I'd like to be somewhere. But just for this night, I'd like to feel like a pretty little girl.
I'd like to slay.
Yeah, like a slay.
Razzle dazzle.
You know what I mean?
So, I mean, one other pillar of the G12 Runway project is education.
Oh, huge,
right?
huge.
And there's an opportunity to actually win a bursary.
Yeah. Well, what's happening this time around is we've partnered with a publication, and they've got a 10K bursary towards education that, you know, you could possibly win, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And you can get some more details on that on the website. It's g12runway.co.za. But education is a big thing, which is why we host the G12 Runway to Success workshops. And we love doing this. We go to the high schools, we talk to the girls, just to motivate them, because a lot of the time you think, you know, I'm done with school, oh, I'm free. But actually, that's when life starts.
Yeah.
We know this. This is when it begins. This is when the challenges start. And are you ready to make, you know, decisions? What is going to be your next step? Are you able to make those kind of decisions to keep you moving forward? And that's what the Runway to Success workshops we do.
A lot of women empowerment initiatives have been criticized for excluding the boy child. And you've taken that into consideration.
Oh, yes.
And you're doing something about that.
Yes, definitely. So what we've done is, initially when we started was just for the girls. And now what we've done is, because let's just face it, the brother also needs to look good for the night.
We love the boys as well.
It's no point the girl is shining and the brother's looking kind of ashy.
Dusty,
So you know, so we add a little bit of shine for him as well. And what we're looking at adding in the future is then having these kind of workshops for the guys as well. Because we tend to forget that if we don't get them young, you know, let's not blame all the troubles on the guys, but let's just face it. If we don't get them young and give them and equip them with the right mindset, right ways of making decisions, then later on in life we'll get better gentlemen out there in the future.
Absolutely.
Don't you agree? Let's get them now.
I certainly agree. As a mother of boys, I certainly agree. I mean, this is equally an opportunity not just for the matriculants to get a beautiful dress, but also for the designers to showcase their talent. And what has been the response from designers?
Oh, it's been absolutely phenomenal. And I think also what's great about the young designers and the design students is that for them it's a way of giving back. You know, where they can, and because fashion can be seen as such a superficial, you know, space to be in. You know, you got to look a certain way, be a certain way.
Yeah.
But with them sharing their creativity with somebody else who needs it, I mean, it makes them feel special as well on top of it at the same time. And then, of course, the platform that it is. You're going to see one of our winners today on the show.
Oh, yes,
and she's actually rocking a design that was made by a design student, designed, sketched it, and then we brought it to life. And that is the fun of the program.
It's so much fun. I mean, I'm so inspired by you. You're just such a mogul, mogel.
Mogel, we are trying these things.
If you do just one thing this year, bank better in 2018. Get the Capitec credit card with a limit of up to 150,000 Rand with personalized interest from 12.9% based on your credit profile and affordability. Bank better to live better with Capitec.
So tonight, the new faces of SABC3 will be revealed in what has been the most anticipated episode of Presenter Search on 3. The winners will be joining Top Billing, the Espresso Morning Show and Afternoon Express. You're not going to want to miss this episode, so make sure you catch all the action from tonight's grand finale of Presenter Search on 3 at 7:30 on SABC3. And if you do happen to miss tonight's episode, you can watch the repeat on Saturday at 12 p.m.
After weeks of grueling challenges, heartbreak and bloopers, our top 6 find themselves on the spectacular La Reunion. And with so much to offer on this island, it proves to be the perfect spot to give them each one last shot to film a segment, hopefully impressing the judges.
Catch the nail-biting grand finale on Thursday evening at 7:30. 3 winners, 3 new faces for SABC3. The stage is yours.
Bank better to live better with Capitec.
Author Arushi Raina grew up in Johannesburg after living in many places around the world, including Egypt, Nigeria, the UK, and Canada. She released her first novel, When Morning Comes, at the age of only 24. The story is set in 1976 and follows the lives of 4 teens with the backdrop of the Soweto uprising. Welcome to the Loft. Lovely to have you with us.
It's amazing to be here.
Yeah. So you've lived in so many places all over the world. Just give us a geographical experience of your life. How did it come to be that way?
Oh, absolutely. I think I have crazy, adventurous parents. So I have to give 80% of it to them. So yes, born in Delhi, and then I left when I was 4, and we went to Egypt for 2 years, and this was, you know, in the 90s, so a very different type of Egypt than we know today. Then we made the shift into South Africa in 97. So really just after, you know, apartheid ended, Truth and Reconciliation was on.
Yeah.
And then did a couple of years there, and here, I guess. And then went over to Nigeria and then popped back here. Wow. And then studied in the US, spent a bit of time studying in the UK as well, and then came to Canada and now full circle back here.
Wow, I love your life. I love it already. So one would think that because you've traveled so much and lived in so many places, you could spin a more glamorous tale by setting your story elsewhere, but you chose to set it in Soweto in 1976. What a tough call. What influenced that?
Well, I've come to the understanding that it's actually happening here. So I would push on that and say, I think South Africa, for me, that's my muse now. But it wasn't there originally, because I think, you know, we learn in educational systems, and we read very westernized pieces of work. So initially it wasn't the case. I was writing about New York. I'd never been to New York. When I came to New York, I was like, great, but that's when I actually went back to my roots, to South Africa. And for me now, you know, this country is my muse, and it continues to be.
Yeah, I mean, writing about such a prolific and tumultuous time in our country's history, one would usually tread so carefully. What kind of research did you have to do around that time?
I think I always say tread carefully. That's the first thing that before you start.
Hey?
And I think it took me many years to actually write this book in my head, because you don't want to mess it up, and there's a lot of sensitivities.
Yes.
Lots of research. So I think, you know, what's really amazing is that we have survivors with us today, heroes, and we also have so many primary accounts that have been put in writing. So actually the day of the Soweto uprising, that morning, is in multiple accounts that have been recorded and put in books. So I read like 15 accounts on the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I think the main thing where the sensitivity and treading carefully is the violence, because when you look at an oppressed population, if you just write about violence in just a haphazard way, you're doing everyone a disservice. So every piece of violence that is in this book is actually on an actual event with the actual victims and perpetrators. We don't want to just create violence.
Yeah, you don't want it to be gratuitous. Yeah. So your book has been so well received. You also received an award from an African American university that is, traditionally African American university. How did that feel?
You know, I'd received a few other, you know, sort of shortlists and awards, and I was humbled. I just, you know, it was like on the floor, just humbled, like almost tears, because you know, I'm not a black person, but I take on so many different voices in this book, and I'm very humbled when, you know, that book is recognized and those voices are ringing true. because the worst thing you can do as a writer is taking a voice that's not yours. So it was so humbling that it was recognized, and I have that, you know, comfort that the work is shining through and the voices are not getting lost.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about your book. Obviously, your book is available at our nearest bookstores, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So we've still got one more inspiring young woman to meet on the show. She's a bright young scientist and was part of a group of teenagers that launched South Africa's first privately owned satellite into space. And we're back in the kitchen with Chef Clem, and we're making a delicious, refreshing mocktail that you can enjoy this weekend. Stay right where you are.
Enjoy full fruit flavor in Ceylon or green tea varieties of Manhattan iced tea. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now get ready to transport yourself to a summery evening with the refreshing mocktail in hand made with Clover Manhattan. Today in our kitchen turned bar counter, we're shaking up a delicious jam jar recipe using Manhattan Rooibos mixed berry iced tea. So Clem, it's Thirsty Thursday and our summer bodies are gearing up for this beautiful summer. Tell us what we should be drinking.
I don't know, but like, do you drink warm things only during winter?
No. I drink a lot of cold things in winter and then a lot of warm things in summer, actually, because I find in summer when I actually drink something hot, it cools me down.
Exactly.
There's actually a science about that.
And I believe that's why people should be drinking chilled things and eating ice cream in winter.
Yes,
absolutely.
I agree.
So like, why not? Just like keep it up. So what I've got in here, we're gonna make a really funky jam jar today. We're gonna make a mocktail version, but go crazy. Add your favorite thing to the jar if you want. We're keeping it kid-friendly today. Yeah. So in here I've got some
your jam jars are very tame. Usually jam jars are like a monstrosity.
like that size.
Like that, basically.
That's a normal jam jar size. These are like little polite ones.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Okay, so strawberries are in season right now, so you chuck them into the bowl.
Like you can drive after you've had one of these.
You can have like 5 of those and still be like, okay, no. I mean these ones, the mocktail ones, yes.
We mean, yeah,
the mocktail ones, yes.
We mean the mocktail virgin ones.
Okay, cool. So strawberries in there, mashing them up with some blueberries. Strawberries are in season now, so eat them, absolutely. So give it a good mush. You can pop this into the blender, but I'm like, mash it up. Why not?
Okay.
Cool. You can chuck some mint in there if you want. I'm fine with just that. And then you take an ice cube tray. The idea of this is you're not going to add like ice cubes to your drink to like water it down. It has a purpose of chilling, but then what happens is as it melts, it just dilutes the drink. And we don't want to do that. So we're going to chill these little strawberry and blueberry cubes. And they're going to be what's going to chill our drink down. There we go.
Wow.
Pop it in the freezer.
Is that how they come out?
They come out looking like this, and they're super cool. Also,
well, they look juicy. Why do they look so much less chunkier?
Oh, you kept up, like these ones came from the blender.
I see.
I'm not about that. So my mom's really great. She's great with kids. She's got a daycare. So her trick is when kids start teething, frozen fruit.
Oh yes.
And they just start sucking on it. Yes, they drool everywhere, you know. But I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
So there you go. Love my mom. Ice cubes going in the jar.
We love you, Mom.
We love you. Just like that. Here's the part where you would add your favorite drink if you wanted. But we, like I said, we...
You mean like your favorite something drink?
Something drink. But you always add your Manhattan to it, that's the thing.
Okay,
so I'm using the mixed berry flavor because I'm using the mixed berry fruit in it. Top it up. Bon, you've got...
You know, mixed berries are so healthy for you. I've been having a serving of mixed berries every single day, and they're really good for your brain.
They are?
Yeah.
Really?
And
for your brain?
For your brain, yeah.
Bon, you are a wealth of knowledge.
I know.
Here we go. Top it up with some soda water, just like that. And no straws, because we're saving the planet, aren't we?
Oh, yes, we are. I love how everyone's gone like bamboo straws and like metal straws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, just leave the straws. It's just like...
Just gulp it down. These mocktail ideas are certainly set to impress guests, so give them a go and take some time out with the new and delicious addition of Clover Manhattan Rooibos iced tea.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, our next guest is a shining light for the next generation of South Africans. Brittany Bull is an aspiring space scientist and recently formed part of a team of teenagers that worked on launching South Africa's very first privately owned satellite. Coincidentally, she's also connected to Ayanda Dlamini's G12 runway and was the recipient of last year's designer dress. Ta-da! Welcome.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Yeah, lovely to have you with us. This dress is gorgeous. So who designed this dress?
One of the design students, Francesca, and I really love this dress. It's going to be my last time wearing this dress.
Please stand up and do a little twirl for us. We want to see the whole thing. Ooh la la, what a beautiful dress. Your matric dance must have been magical.
It really was. And this year I'm going to get to bless another girl with this dress.
That is so beautiful. Wow. Okay, so you are a science enthusiast. You've already invented something special. Tell us about it. What do you have there?
So the company I'm interning with right now was the founder of the space program. Right now we're working on these sorts of nano satellites. So this is basically a fraction of the size of the smallest satellites that are currently launched.
Okay.
So basically we let school kids design their satellite by clicking PCBs like this together. Wow. So this is a demo of a game, Space Invaders, like the pun. So this is the OLED screen, the controls, and basically the onboard computer, a Raspberry Pi.
Wow.
So we basically teach kids STEM through play and also modular electronics, but also used in industrial IoT, Internet of Things. So basically, it's not just a toy, it's not just a STEM thing, it's not just space, it's something that everybody can use.
Yeah, I'm just going to pretend I understand every single thing that you said right there. It sounds amazing, whatever it is. So you're passionate about space science.
Yes.
How did you come to be so passionate about it? And you want to go study and you're raising funds to go overseas?
So I started in the X in a Box STEM program back in September 2015. I did my first ever space prep. I learned how to solder, and I did all.
So in what grade were you in at the stage?
I was grade 10.
Grade 10.
It's right there. That was the first ever time I touched a soldering iron, and we built little robots called Chigibots. And ever since then, I've been hooked. I've been part of this program ever since then. Now I am currently one of the facilitators of the program. So I went from student to teacher.
That's incredible. So how far are you with raising funds to go and study, and at which university do you want to go study?
I'm planning to study at Morehead State University in Kentucky. They have a prestigious space science program with NASA. I've been accepted, and
yay!
50% of my funds are through.
That is so amazing. So any young person who's watching and they actually do love science and maybe perhaps don't have all the resources to end up where you are, what should they do? Is there a program they can enroll in? Should they look out for a particular type of program, I guess?
They should basically research what they want and look for programs, because there is a lot of programs out there for STEM in particular. And there's also a lot of help out there. There's a lot of people, especially in South Africa, who want to get kids to study engineering. So there's programs everywhere. One of the places that I also used a lot was Code Academy. They have pre-coding courses. That's where I started after the space program.
Wow. Oh, you are so inspiring. Thank you so much for joining us today. And good luck with raising the other 50% of your tuition. Maybe there's somebody out there watching who's dying to fund you.
Thank you.
Enjoy full fruit flavour in Ceylon or green tea varieties of Manhattan iced tea. Made with love by Clover.
So this week we've been running our Capitec competition where you stand the chance to win a prize worth 5,000 Rand. We've selected 3 winners who entered the competition to date and would like to congratulate Monday's winner, Ava Sebua, Tuesday's winner, Sally Shields, and then Wednesday's winner, Figile Patricia. So you still have time to enter the Capitec competition where you could walk away with an awesome prize, including a designer handbag, luxurious spa voucher, 2,000 Rand cash, and a Capitec hamper to the total value of 5,000 Rand. SMS WIN to 33650. Vast rates apply. T's and C's can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, it's been an all-women power hour here on Afternoon Express with so many talented and inspiring guests. We're back now with superstar actress Linda Mtoba, Mayor, and radio personality Ayanda Dlamini.
Yes.
Ladies, yesterday was the beginning of Women's Month. It started off with a big bang, and as you might have seen with the hashtag total shutdown. What does it feel like for you right now to be a woman in South Africa? Because at the same time, while it feels like everything's falling apart, it feels like everything is coming together so beautifully as well.
True. I was actually about to say the same thing, that even me sitting here today, I'm looking at all these amazing women, like, geez, I'm in such awe. And the different spheres that we're in as well, and we're doing so well together. And I feel like Women's Month is important because we're able to celebrate each other and to able to listen to each other as well. And being a woman in South Africa, I feel like that's the one thing we need to do. To listen to each other, collaborate together and work together and lift up each other in every way possible. I saw such a great quote today by Michelle Obama. I think Masanda actually posted it. She said that we are so busy celebrating being at the table that we're not shaking up the table. So
I think so. We're happy that we've gotten there, but then I think we go with the status quo. So we get to the table, and if it's business suits and you've got to look like this, then that's what you go with. But I think the challenge for us as women is to now shake it up a little bit and be comfortable as a woman who you are, but then shake up the dynamics a little bit. Have real conversations. I think we should be having real conversations. I think also it's great to have Women's Month. It's great to go and march and all sorts of things, but then you've got to bring it back a little bit. And look at after that walk, that distance you just marched, girl.
What are we doing tomorrow?
What are we doing tomorrow? I think that is the biggest thing. What are we doing tonight? Who are you going to call next to make sure that from that table or from that march, something is actually happening after that?
Beyond this, beyond what's happening right now. So I agree with that. I feel like it is about the fact that we need to keep challenging ourselves and keep working harder at that and being able to be a woman. I think I was speaking to one of the ladies here actually earlier on, I forgot her name, and she was saying she's tired of being labelled as Imbogodo or being labelled as being strong. She wants to be labelled as a woman.
I was about to go there to say, yes, it's important for us to be constantly thinking about the next. How are we going to upgrade? How are we going to level up? You know? But at the same time, I really feel like we need to start talking more about self-care, about how to not keep running until we run out of steam and we're flat on the floor. Self-love. Yes, and how do we cultivate self-love, especially in a generation where it's all about Instagram perfection?
Of course. And it's so interesting that you say that, because just, it could have been today or yesterday, but DJ Zintle was talking about how, just then to take it back as a mom, she's working hard, and here you are showing your kids that, yes, as a woman you can do it. The hustle is there, it's real. But Baba was saying, Mommy, you're going to work for too much now. You know? So now, I'm not seeing you enough. And then there's also that struggle, you know? We're strong, we want to be all of this, but then we still need to bring it back a little bit. Then the self-care then kind of goes down a little bit, because you're trying to, you know?
I feel like that's, as women, that's what we always do. Like, we're always trying to balance something. Whether you're balancing your financials, whether you're balancing your career, whether you're balancing your home, we're such balances. And as what you said, we need to go back to balancing ourselves. You know, have an hour a day or an hour a week if you can, where you just literally are by yourself, where you're doing what you want to do, how you want to do it, and not doing it of somebody else, you know? And I feel like as women, always constantly put on a pedestal that you have to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G all at once. And it's okay for you to be A, B, C today, and maybe E, F, and G you'll see tomorrow.
Z you'll see the other month. Do you know what I mean? You're okay. You'll see it. And I think also with so many hashtags and the filters and all sorts of things, you get so lost in all of that, that sometimes you do need to take a break and just kind of rewind a little bit and be like, okay, so I'm trying to be this woman, but did I lose myself in that process?
Who are you being currently?
Exactly. Who are you in that process?
And one of the biggest contributing factors to that, like, unfair pressure that we place on ourselves is that, like, comparison, this constant comparison to our peers. If somebody posts something or you hear something about somebody else, you're like, I should be there. Oh my gosh, look at my life. Oh, it's a mess.
Like, why aren't I there yet? You know,
how do we remedy that?
Well, I think it's about realizing that your journey is your journey, and I think that's the biggest thing. In your interview, there was mention of teaching, and there was other things, and then you found yourself going this way, and this is working for you now, and that's great. I was, you know, radio, TV, I'm finding myself in the space of fashion. It's not, you know, like fashion design and that kind of thing. And the important thing for women to realize is that is okay. And for everybody to realize that it's okay to have another dream and go for it. You weren't born one dimension. You know, you're not a one-dimensional person. So don't be stuck in that thing. And if that's not successful, find something else. Yes, that you can be passionate about.
What I believe in is the fact that everything that's for you will be for you. So in a world that just said we're constantly bombarded by perfection, constantly bombarded by great bodies, great careers, and sometimes you end up looking at your neighbor's path and not your own. And that's when you get lost.
Yeah.
That's where you lose your own focus, you lose your own direction because you're not focusing on yourself. You're looking at the next person and the next person. Okay, you're doing radio. I gotta do radio too.
Yes.
You know, it's that whole thing. Oh, radio seems to be doing really well. I should do that. But it's knowing yourself. It's bringing it back again to who I am.
You're so right. There's this phenomenon where people are just like, hey, let's see that thing's
working now. So
that's
but you know, the crazy thing about that is something that I've been learning over the last couple of years, and something that I try to remember on a daily is you're always one decision away from a different life.
Yeah.
And I think we forget about that. So we make these decisions, oh, this is the hype now, this is what it is, and you go for that. And once again, you need to rewind and just remember that after that choice you've made, there are steps that come after that, consequences of that decision, you know. So make sure you're doing it from a right place. Because when you die on your own, and you want to make sure that whatever story that you're telling with your life is a story that you love,
and
you
your own narrative as
your
well,
own narrative.
and telling it in your own voice, in your own way. And I think where we are as women right now, it allows us to do that, to be able to voice what we think as and when we want. And I really do believe in having my cake in different flavors and eating it if I wanted to have it. You know what I mean? So I believe in having a holistic image and having a holistic soul and life as well. That I don't want things to lack just because the other one is doing well. You know, and I feel like as women end up sacrificing so much of things that make us happy because of somebody else or other people's or pressures or work, you know, things like that. There's something that always comes first before myself. And sometimes women, I think we fail at being selfish because we feel like being a woman means that I'm selfless.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And that's not fair.
And that's
it's not fair on us.
At all.
You know?
And that must be a huge challenge as well when children come into the picture. And Ayanda, I know you're a mom.
I've got 3.
3, girl.
No, we got 3, and I think.
No, when I saw you pregnant with your 3rd one, I was like,
you were like, what's she doing? What's she doing? You know,
wow, congratulations,
girl.
But congratulations.
No, we try, but also the thing is to get rid of the super mom, superhero tendency.
Exactly that.
Because you're not a superhero. No. You know, you are a human being who's got.
I just aim for good enough mom.
Thank you. You know what I mean? And you know, that mom that can spend some good quality time, and that mom that, you know, can do the best that she can for that moment.
That's true. I mean, there's honestly, there's no right or wrong. There's no instruction manual that comes with life, hey?
Oh, no.
Whether you being a mom or being a teacher or being a human being in general, it's difficult enough on its own. You know, but having the support structure helps a lot for you to balance that life, for you to be able to do other things as well. I think that also matters. That you must welcome having support. You must welcome saying, I can't do this and I'm struggling with that. And how do I balance my children and my career because I want to do both, and here you are doing it all once again, you know? So I feel like that's the difference with women, the fact that we have a lot more pressure, I feel, of balancing things, because if you look at maybe fathers, for example, okay, and obviously not all fathers, but most of them have careers and they focus on the career and family, you know, when they have the time. You know.
When they get home.
When they get home, you know. Unlike you're the one that's going to get the call when the child is sick at school.
Exactly.
Or whether you're being a single parent, and I know a lot of young women that are single parents currently as well, they have to balance school, have to balance working on their careers, have to balance having children and being
self-actualizing. And drinking enough water.
And you know, and then also you must
having
go to the
vegetables.
gym.
And going to the gym.
These are all the things you have to remember while still remembering, hey, I'm actually a human being. In fact, I had to have that reality check where I had to think about, hey, you know, at some point I wanted to travel and I wanted to do something. And then that got forgotten because in that time there was the child number, whatever, and then you're thinking about the future, you know, all of that in between. So I think, you know, it's about remembering that while you are doing all these things, you're still you. You're there in the midst of it all. And it's like they usually say in the airplane, if you don't put that mask on, you know, the oxygen thing first, you know, you can't put it on, you can't help the kids. And we've got to remember, I'm guilty of not remembering that a lot of the time as well, where I've got to remember that actually I got to put that mask on first before trying to do it.
Starts with you.
With everybody.
Ladies, thank you so much for inspiring us today. Happy Women's Month.
Yes.
I think Women's Month is really changing in South Africa, and it's becoming meaningful to us in a way that we can share and understand together. So make sure you tune in again tomorrow. Joining us for the whole show is pianist Nduduzo Makhathini. He's considered one of the most prolific jazz musicians of this generation, so you don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to all our beautiful guests who inspired us. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Happy eating. God bless.
Afternoon Express. Made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production.